Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cracking open a really big topic, rare earth elements, or REEs. Our mission, basically, is to understand how all this tension between the US, China, and India is, reshaping the supply chains we all depend on.
Yeah, and for you listening, the main thing to get is that these 17 metals, they're kind of the new oil. They're absolutely essential for, well, advanced defense, like lasers, medical tech, and crucially, clean energy. Think EV batteries, wind turbines.
Right, those big magnets in the turbines.
Exactly. And the thing is, there aren't really good substitutes. Not that work nearly as well.
Okay, so let's unpack the core problem. Usually with resources, we worry about running out, geological scarcity. But that's not really it here, is it? I mean, Brazil has something like, 23% of world reserves?
Over 23%, yeah. So the crisis isn't about finding them in the ground, it's structural. It's about centralization. China, through decades of really smart, strategic industrial policy, built up this near monopoly.
How much control are we talking?
As of now, 2024, China controls roughly 90%. 90 of the global processing and refining.
Wow, 90%. That's staggering. That makes true strategic independence incredibly difficult when one country has that kind of chokehold.
Absolutely. And they're not hiding it. China's moved REEs from just being commodities to an explicit geopolitical tool.
Yeah.
Just this year, Beijing slapped on tough export controls, directly citing national security.
Okay, but export controls. Can't industry usually find workarounds? How tight can they really make this?
But see, what's really clever, or maybe concerning, depending on your view, is the focus. It's not just about blocking the export of the elements themselves. The key restriction is on exporting the technology for processing and separation.
The tech itself, why that specifically?
It's designed to stop potential competitors, like India or others, from quickly building up their own independent refining capacity. It locks in that 90% dominance.
Which brings us straight to India. They seem to be right in the middle of this now. There was that big shift after the Galwan Valley clashes back in 2020. Why did a border skirmish change India's whole global economic strategy?
Because Galwan was the wake-up call. It convinced Delhi that their old approach, sort of evasive balancing, just wasn't going to cut it anymore. They pivoted hard towards what some analysts call zone balancing, basically using alliances like the Quad for regional security while getting much tougher economically, especially with China.
And tougher is right. We saw that, over 70% of India's anti-dumping investigations in 2024 were aimed at Chinese goods. Things like solar cells getting hit with tariffs up to 30%, that's pretty aggressive.
It is aggressive,
Yeah.
but it creates this real tension for India. They desperately need foreign investment for growth, huge amounts of it. But relying too much on Chinese capital creates exactly the strategic vulnerability they're trying to escape.
A real balancing act, then. Needing the investment, but being careful about the source.
Exactly. It's a knife edge. Growth versus long-term security.
So that tension is fueling their countermove. Let's talk about India's domestic plan, the NCMC 2025, National Critical Mineral Mission. This isn't just about digging more dirt, right? It's focused on building up their own processing.
Precisely. Exploration is part of it, yes, but the absolute core goal is creating domestic processing capability, breaking free from that external dependence. And this is where the alliances really matter, like the U.S. taking IRL, India's state-owned enterprise, off its export control list.
Okay, so that directly helps India build up faster, makes them a potential processing hub within the Quad.
Exactly. It's part of this bigger multilateral picture, the Quad Critical Minerals Initiative, the QCMI.
Right, the QCMI. So that's about de-risking the whole system, pooling money and research to build refining capacity outside of China?
Yes, it's a direct challenge to that 90% figure, building regional capacity through shared efforts.
That deals with the short to medium-term need for refineries. But what about longer-term solutions? Is there an escape valve?
There has to be, and it's likely technology. Innovation is key. Look at recycling. Projections suggest recycling could meet maybe up to 25% of global demand for the critical magnet REEs within 10 years. That adds real resilience.
And processing tech itself is evolving. I read about that new remateria method from Prague, solvent-free separation.
Yeah, that's fascinating stuff. IOCB Prague developed it. It gets rid of the nasty toxic chemicals traditionally used in REE separation. If methods like that scale up, offering greener processing could be a major competitive edge for facilities outside China. Better environmental standards become a selling point.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what's the big picture takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, it confirms this idea of a new Cold War, maybe playing out technologically on the Himalayas and beyond. It's a fight for industrial supremacy. And in this fight, controlling refining capacity, the processing, is just non-negotiable for security and economic freedom.
Right. So maybe the final thought for you to chew on is this. The Quad, the US, India, others, they have the policy alignment now with things like the QCMI. But does that translate fast enough into action? The real test, the biggest risk, isn't the plan itself. It's how quickly they can actually get shovels in the ground and pour concrete for those new independent refineries. Implementation speed is everything.